Hey everyone, welcome to the Work in Progress podcast. I'm Tubbs.
Rachel.
Dale.
And we are the Work in Progress podcast.
You messed that up twice. Progress.
Work in Progress. Getting it kicked off here for this episode. That is the episode number of the number you clicked on.
17.
If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, concerns, complaints, you can reach us on Instagram at WIPP Podcast. Email us at artistwip@gmail.com or YouTube at the Work in Progress Podcast. Check out our channel. Give us a like.
Make sure you title your complaint emails as complaints so we can shuffle them straight into the spam.
If you email them, I'll read them and laugh.
Yeah.
Or not, or maybe I'll respond. I don't know. Depends on what I'm doing that day. Or you can get us on Facebook at Art WIPP. First name Art, last name WIPP.
WIPP.
Boom.
Art WIPP.
Basically.
Today,
what?
Go ahead.
No.
Since this is a work in progress, do you guys have anything that's in progress?
Ooh, I'm almost done with my Pennywise sculpture.
Mm-hmm. It looks
I
awesome.
can't wait.
When is it going to release? When is it going to drop?
All I have to do now, since I just bought a sewing machine that I don't really know anything about, but I'm fairly confident that I have the entire clown suit for him mapped out in my head, so I just have to get the technique down and execute. But as soon as I finish that and he's all clothed up, then I will finish editing the video and put it on the YouTubes.
Get it.
Can't wait. I'll be excited to get done with this because I think I mentioned on one of the other podcasts that I started the armature for that back in, I think, April.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been really busy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Tubbs?
Were you done, Dale?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. I've been avoiding that question because I have no works in progress. I have those guitar hooks that I worked on with my nephew, but I haven't had a chance or a weekend to have him over at the house so we can finish them. My wife picked up a new dining room table that I looked at. That's about as far as I've got on that guy.
Well, okay. So, what about you were just talking about things that you want to work on personally about yourself.
Yeah.
And
how's that going?
It's a work in progress.
Would you like to talk about it, or?
I don't know. Well, no. Well, not that I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. Just being a better me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a lot of time to think because I have a good commute to work and a good commute home. So I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about me and how I can be a better me. I'm not doing any programs or anything. I'm just nitpicking at myself and see what I can change.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe be less of a dick. I'm a pretty big dick.
Well, you're a funny dick.
Yeah. Well, that's been laughed at before. No, just it was just a introspective look at my decision-making paradigm. I don't know. I just personally, luckily I have a pretty awesome wife because whenever I'm having an issue, I can talk to her about it, and she usually approaches it pretty pragmatically. Like, yeah, we can work on this or we can do this, and so yeah, I think this it's hot as shit where we live. So as soon as it cools down, as far as working on me, I'm gonna keep working on that. I kind of feel like I'm avoiding the question, but I don't feel like I am because I don't really know how I'm working on myself. I was just like, hey, what she's referring to is before the podcast. I was like, yeah, I'm just looking at some stuff I want to change about myself because I this isn't a very popular belief, and I don't think people necessarily feel this way. But like, I'm just gonna use drinking for example. Like Alcoholics Anonymous say that it's a disease. I don't think it is personally. I think it sucks and it's not fun, but I also talk to people about stuff, or by people I mean like friends or my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, where I tell them, well, I've talked to one of them about it, but if you don't like something about something, change it, because you can change it. it's not going to be fun to change it. You might lose some friends changing it, but it's you, and you're the one that thinks you need to be this way. And you know, following what you think other people want you to be is not always a good idea. It's not always a bad idea either. I mean, sometimes you have good friends that are like, no, you're being kind of a piece of shit. So if you want to work on you, type deal. So I'm not saying I'm like changing anything crazy or getting any special kind of haircut or anything. Maybe I'll grow a rat tail. We were talking about that the last podcast. Maybe I'll rock one of those. But no, I'm not talking about changing like that. Just, you know, just little ways I can better myself. Maybe the way I spend money, the way I allot my time. I'm a big dude. There's a lot of sexy hanging out here. So maybe drop down the amount of sexy that there is around me. But yeah, just like that. It wasn't anything like, oh, I gotta change.
A lot of come here.
come hither. But no, just it was mostly stuff like that I just want to better manage my time, because I noticed you guys talk about time management, and I think we talked about it like 2 podcasts ago. We were like, yeah, I have no works in progress, and the podcast is about works in progress. So I was like, well, I'll work on me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
See where that goes. And then I was talking, you just got a house, and I realized that I've been living in my house, and there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, that's going to get done someday.
I know.
Someday was 9 years ago, and I'm looking at the house like, definitely, probably, maybe next year. Next fall-ish.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my wife about that, and she's like, yeah, we could change some stuff around here. So I think for this year, I'm going to work a little bit more towards forging some of the stuff I want to finish. I have that dining room table, and like 18 years ago, I told Dale I'd help him refinish this chair. I'm pretty sure he sold the chair by now, so that didn't get done. But yeah, I have that kitchen table. It's going to be a big project. I'm sure we've talked about something around this idea, but you don't really get good unless you fuck with harder stuff. And I've never really done a dining room table. What's funny about that, Rachel?
Sorry.
I'm opening my soul here, talking about difficult things I'm going through. You're over there laughing.
Sorry.
No, but yeah, I want to work on the. I think making a top or redoing a top for that dining room table is gonna be a pretty big challenge. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Maybe I'll press progress pics. I don't know.
Do. Yeah.
But
We talk about doing a lot of things when we don't do them.
we're not really good at showing you guys what the work in progress are. But we got them.
Maybe we're just full of shit.
All day. But yeah, we might
Dale's
be full of shit.
skeptical
No, we
about
have we all have Instagrams.
Cynical.
We all have Instagrams and some of the stuff we do. Mine less than you guys, but you know we got Instagrams. But yeah, I think I'm gonna this kind of cool down period of the year. I'm gonna try to hit a little bit more forging because I really want to get proficient at it. And again, that table I think is really interesting because I like the shape of it. My wife picked it out because it was random, like not random, so random. No, my wife picked it out because she really liked that it had 6 legs, looked like a spider.
Hey,
and what?
we don't use that word in my house.
Sorry. Looked like an arachnid. That one either.
Oh, sorry.
An insect, kinda.
With lots of legs.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but she liked the way the legs looked, so I was like, oh, that is pretty cool. And it, not to go off completely to make this podcast about me, but here we go.
Oh my god.
But it was one of those things that we were talking about. That I think we were talking about on one of the previous podcasts. Or maybe we were just talking about this person where you see something, you're like, this would look cool like this. And I think my wife did that, so I'm like, fuck it, let's try it. And the table's a really nice table. It's just the top's all screwed up. Because it's one of those tables that the entire thing I think is made of oak, but for some reason they made the top out of particle board. Because all the legs are solid wood. The frame around the top is solid wood. The chairs are solid wood, but the tabletop
ran out of money and they're like, fuck it, go get some.
But I was like, that's a weird thing. And people, like I was showing I showed a couple of people pictures, and they were like, that's. Well, sometimes they do that to save money. I'm like, the legs of everything is made of the same, whatever, man. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make a tabletop out of oak. Maybe do a herringbone pattern because I want to do that on something.
Do it.
But that's my work in progress. It's sitting in my back patio, staring me in the face, like a constant reminder. But yeah.
When you were talking about
Longest intro ever.
It's okay. When you were talking about the things that you wanted to do to your house, it reminded me of last week. a guy that we know that we work with, he came in and he had some things to do, but he was saying, "You're making me feel like a piece of shit." I'm like, "Well, how am I doing that?" And he goes, "I see you doing all this stuff, and I think, man, I just have to go mow my lawn. But she's doing things to her house, she's making all these projects, and I just have to mow my lawn. I feel like a piece of shit." I'm like, "Well, that's you making you feel that way." I'm like, "This is just my thing."
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I guess it's interesting to hear things because like when I get something in my mind, I'm like, I just got to go do it. And I think it's a good thing to share what you're doing with other people because it could also inspire them to do something that they've been wanting to do for a long time, or
You just rub it in his face,
make them feel like a piece of shit. However you want to take it,
Wow.
it's your choice.
You suck.
Wow, you've just been sitting at home. I've been doing all these things.
So I don't know.
I think I was there for that conversation, actually.
Were you?
I think so.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. No, well, to me, most of it is just the time I have available to do stuff. Because we have been at work a lot. Yes, we have. So it was a little bit of, which we were actually talking about that, which was kind of one of the topics we were thinking about bringing up was, we were thinking about how long we've worked and how we hear people at our job and people at other jobs that have been there for, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, and they're like, "Oh man, I need to get out of here and this and that." Well, part of it's like, well, you could have gotten out, but you chose not to. And the other part of it is, yeah, but like people at work that have side jobs like yourself, where woodworking's your thing, and you work a 9-to-5 job to make money. And some people find that depressing. Like, I've been here for this long. Yeah, but look at all the stuff it's afforded you to do. Because of this, there's other stuff you don't have to worry about that does allow you to go off-roading whenever you want to. All the stuff you like to do, you do because you work here. If there's people that can follow their passion and get to work what they love to do, and there's some people that don't get that.
Yeah. Well, I told
and they start podcasts about stuff that they're supposed to work on that they don't work on.
Well,
they did start the podcast about it.
I told one of my friends, he's a contractor, and we were talking about.
Stop bragging about how many friends you have.
We were talking about.
We're your friends.
I don't talk to you when I'm with my other friends
That's
about
true.
you, so.
That's true, sorry. About my day job, and then we started talking about like, okay, the benefits of it, and I said, there's one of the really nice things about where we work is that if I want to do something to my house now, I can just ask for some overtime, and that'll help afford me to pay for either all of it or part of what I want to do. And so that's one really good aspect of day job. I know a lot of people are not in that position, but
Yeah.
but that's my reality. That's what I've gotten myself to be in a job to be able to afford things. And so yeah.
I want to have things. But I think it's true, and sometimes we've talked about like I know on here, especially people on Instagram or YouTube, that whose job is doing what they love to do, and it'd be great to get that point. But it's like looking at something. I don't know how to put it. You recently in the scope of how long you've lived, found the passion of woodworking, and if you'd have started woodworking when you didn't care about it, it would mean nothing to you. And I think that could also be kind of part of it, is that not necessarily strike while the iron's hot, but kind of strike while the iron's hot. Like, if there's something you care about, you should do it, because you don't always get the opportunity to.
Yeah.
Dale was talking about a few podcasts ago about SV pipes.
Oh yeah.
What's his?
SV pipe design.
Yeah, SV pipe design. He says, I'm currently
Yeah.
designing pipes, and like, yeah, it's something he's doing now, but it's not something he might always be doing. But he leaves that room for, what if I move on to something else? What if I don't know, he decides to do something else out of wood? I think he was a sculptor before that.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I think I guess I kind of missed my point, but we were talking about what's your radar. What your day job affords you to do, and sometimes your day job affords you to make the mistake of not being into something or making the mistake of, how should I put it? It affords you to be able to not jump face first into something and suck at it. Because if you suck at it and you fail completely, you're not completely screwed. You can always go back to your day job.
I like it. That makes sense.
It makes sense. We lost it there in the middle, but we came back around. Lost it there for a while.
Dale, what do you think about this?
About what?
Tubbs was talking about.
What do you think about that thing we were talking about that Rachel was completely paying attention to?
I was honestly just listening and not thinking.
See, guys, this is what I put up with.
What were you saying, Tubbs?
We lost it. No, I'm not going to repeat it. You listen to the podcast and put your comment in the fucking comments
Just
of the
keep
video.
talking. We're totally engaged. And
You
engrossed.
guys are not engaged. Both of you were looking at me and nobody was home.
You guys are texting.
I'm not texting
I wasn't
anything.
texting.
Literally, my electronics are on the table.
So,
All right.
so speaking of passion,
Let's get this back on the road. What are you talking about, passion?
so speaking of passion, with passion is love.
It's separable.
What is love? Or should I just blew the mic out? Our number one topic is concept of love. The more you know.
I feel like when you do that, that voice, you feel like you're gonna say, oh God, fuck, what did he say? Like Saturday
Oh
Night
God,
Jams.
fuck! What was he gonna say? Something like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Sunday night slow jams.
Sunday night slow jams.
Yeah, and they would play like older R&B.
Well, I got it from that one comedian that used to do the different movie guy voices. I just got bored and practiced it one day.
I call it baby making music.
Baby making music. Sunday night slow jams.
Yep, Sunday night
I gotta
slow
work
jam.
on Monday. Sunday, nothing's happening Sunday night.
Yeah. So anyway, so the concept of love.
The concept of love.
God. So lately, for me, I've been exploring, like the
Go
views.
on.
We're listening.
God dang it.
Lately, Rachel's been exploring
Love.
love.
Shit.
One woman. One heart. Exploring love. The story of Rachel. Welcome to the How Long Could We Keep Rachel Laughing podcast. Sorry.
I was just thinking of Tina Turner in my head. What's love got to do with it?
What is love but a secondhand emotion? Who needs a heart, Rachel, when a heart can be broken?
That's the power of love.
Jesus Christ.
Coming in hot. Dun, dun, dun,
You got any
Well.
more?
Alright.
Okay.
Are you done?
I could go all day.
I know you could. Okay, so the concept of unconditional love, because I never really fully understood what unconditional love actually meant.
It means love without conditions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I had that one in the bank.
Solved why.
Podcast over. Alright, go on. Sorry.
My stomach hurts. Shit, where was I going with that? The concept
Maybe
of,
you should shit and then your stomach will hurt.
of unconditional love and also being in love. I think that I have learned to embrace that side of that emotion of being in love with things. Not, you don't necessarily have to be romantically in love with something or someone. I think that you can be in love with certain aspects of like people, but still not want to be with them in a romantic way. talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, thank you. Well, first of all, when you said that, I think you'd be in love with somebody. I think a big problem is people can be in lust with a lot of stuff too, and it's really easy to confuse love with lust. Lust with love, because you're like, this inundates my thoughts. Yeah. Last week, getting a big Buford from Rally's inundated your thoughts, and you thought that was the fucking end-all, be-all of civilization. Saw you at a Big Mac yesterday. So, you know, I think confusing love and lust are a pretty big thing. Unconditional love is a pretty heavy subject. I mean, it's a pretty heavy situation. But I think it's that's all. I think on the love front, why can't I finish a thought? Jesus. I had too much caffeine before I started this one. Let me compose myself for a second. Being in love and lust, I think you can have love for someone without having romantic feelings for them. I mean, I care about a lot of people. Well, that's not true. I care about a few people, but the people I do care about, I care about pretty seriously. I mean, I have two sisters that I love I've been a shitbag to. At different times, and they've been like, "Oh, you're an idiot, but we love you," and I mean, it takes a lot for somebody to do that for you. And I mean, like the times I have done stuff like that, I kind of look into myself and say, what can I change so that doesn't happen again? Because their love may be unconditional, and unconditional means there is no conditions to it. But I think, well, as I've described to Rachel, who didn't know what that meant, dummy. But I also think that it may be unconditional. It may be unconditional in the sense that events might not change it, but you beat something long enough, and eventually it's gonna wither. And so whenever something like that does happen, I know at least I try to not let that happen again. And this kind of is probably off topic of what you're talking about, but I think when you love somebody, I had a friend of mine that both of you know once tell me he couldn't think of anything he hated, because in his opinion, when you love someone, you go out of your way to do what you can for them, and you try to make them happy. And hate being the opposite of love, you'd go out of your way to make their day shitty. I think the opposite of love is indifference. Because I don't even think about people. Like, you know what I mean? I don't hate. I mean, I don't care enough about anybody to hate them. I don't think, at least. But I am indifferent to a lot of people. And I think sometimes when you confuse love with lust, you can like something about somebody, and then when something happens, a friend, not romantically, but when something does happen, that's pretty heavily shattered. And I think sometimes when you love somebody as a friend or whatever the case is, you tend to kind of put them on a pedestal, and they can shatter that pretty easily because humans are fallible. So I think love is pretty heavy. No, I had that backwards. Lust. That's what I was thinking of. Lust. When you put somebody on a pedestal like that, they can shatter it. But if you love somebody, when they shatter it, I think you're more understanding. Love, not unconditional. Just love. You're more understanding. You know what I mean?
Dale, what do you think?
It's like I was listening, but I wasn't. But that's so to kind of wrap up, because I went all over the place, because I have had quite a bit of caffeine. I think love itself, as loving a person. You're laughing so me
Try
off.
not to. I don't
Stop!
know why.
Look at Dale. Look at. Ooh, she almost broke her thing.
Shit, sorry.
But loving somebody as a friend, loving somebody as somebody that matters to you. I was saying that I think people confuse love with lust a lot, where they see somebody like, everything about this person is awesome, everything about, and then you get shattered, and kind of part of you is invested so much with that person that you're like, fuck, maybe everything isn't real. But loving people, there's nothing wrong with loving people. You love thousands of people if you want. I mean, if you got that kind of time. I don't. But when you love somebody, I think you go out of your way to try to, well, one, make them happy, but mostly not hurt them, I guess. And with lust, it's a lot more fickle situation. That's why I was saying. That's why I used the fast food joints as an example. It's a much more fickle situation where it's like when you love somebody, you invest time, even if it's not thousands of hours a day. I don't know why I said thousands of hours a day. Even if it's not hours a day every day for your entire life. But I mean, like when people get married, they love each. What's that?
How do you feel about me? Rallies.
Between Burger King, case and point. Justin would be like, well, guys, I found a chick. What's she like? Arby's. Shit, this must be serious.
Homer roast beef sandwiches is not.
Well, that's it for me, guys. Have a good podcast.
Happy meal.
Happy meal. But yeah, I completely derailed and I don't even know what I'm talking about. And that's thanks to these two fine people. One fast food place and all of a sudden I met this chick the other day. Oh yeah? Yeah. Don't mean to brag. Subway. I hate you both. Met a guy. Oh yeah? Wiener Schnitzel. All right, Rachel, put it away. Compose yourself. We have a podcast. We have people to entertain.
So what
Somebody's listening to us while they're trying to work on something right now. Like, wow, this is what I spent my last 20 minutes on.
Your sister, only listener.
What?
Our number one fan.
Oh, you looked at me when you said that.
No.
Your sister's the only listener.
No.
I will stab you. Don't you ever call my sister a listener? If she does listen. If she does.
How do you feel about love? The concept of love, unconditional love, and
I don't know.
Baby, don't
I'm
hurt
not
me.
sure.
Baby, don't hurt me.
No more.
No more.
Well, while you two
Sorry.
regain your composure, I think for me, I don't have a whole lot of opinions on love. I guess I've always wondered if unconditional love could actually exist. Honestly, if anybody's actually capable of it, or maybe it's just me that's not. I don't know. But maybe that's a side effect of me being an introvert and not really.
Also a psychopath, though. But I mean, that's cool.
I own cats, and I like my cats a lot. Don't they kill critters? I don't. No, but I don't know. At this point in my life, I don't have a strong opinion or really even strong thoughts about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what,
have you
what
ever
to say about
felt
it.
like you've been in love?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was just lust.
Would you say
Like, looking back,
Would you
I
say
think-
it doesn't live here anymore?
because
Was it a
What?
is it a Big Mac?
but it's really hard to keep a straight thought.
It
with you
really
guys.
is. Now you know.
Do you believe in unconditional love?
He just answered that
Oh,
one. You were laughing.
I'm sorry.
He said he wasn't sure it existed, Rachel. Let me recap
so-
you on the podcast.
So I think Bigfoot is a possibility. Oh wait, was that the last episode?
Rachel loves Bigfoot.
Anyway, yeah. So
You good guys good? You guys good? Get your shit together.
But I think, yeah, to answer your question as far as unconditional love, maybe it's my cynicism again, but I don't know if people are actually capable of it. I don't know.
Like, I love you, Dale. Why do you love me?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I can tell you that right now.
What does my love give you?
Stop using me!
do you love your friends?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, like right in front of us. Are we his friends? Are we his friends, this story?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, but
I'm in like with you.
yeah. Like, completely honest, I don't know if it's unconditional though.
Oh,
It's conditional as fuck. I said spider here earlier, and
Yeah.
you were like, get the fuck out. Alright, cool. Didn't know it was that kind of party. Conditional as fuck. I don't know.
do you think that people take, well, their blood, I have to love them? I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh no, I very much don't.
Yeah, I hate it when people say that. Well, their blood,
Yeah.
I have to love. No,
I love my sisters a lot, but my sisters are a very big part of my life.
mm-hmm.
Because I have 2 older sisters. And I have 2 older sisters, so they were always around.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was talking about a while ago, they watched out for me a lot, so they mean a lot to me. I have a lot of family that's supposed to mean a lot to me I could give a shit about.
Yeah.
And that sounds really ugly, but I have cousins that I care a lot about that I am in contact with. But every once in a while, somebody will we have some family in California that we get a hold of, and every time we hear from them, it's great. But I think I don't like it. Maybe it's some cynicism, but when I see somebody I haven't seen in a long time, I immediately think it's so good to see you because I care about you.
Yeah.
But I will lose like everything when they're like, well, why don't you call?
Oh, I
You
hate
know the
that.
phone works both ways.
Yeah.
Also, I'm an adult with a life, and I figured you were. I didn't know you were only waiting on my call.
Looks like you
Your
wasted
life
your time.
sucks. But that mentality is like, well, why aren't you doing the extra steps for me? Well, I got my thing going on. Kind of figured you had yours. I don't like the weird guilt trips that some family try to play on people.
Yeah, I hate
Because I've had people do it to me. I'm like, oh, it's because I don't care. Well, that's a mean thing to say. Well, it's also not a lie. So,
Mm-hmm.
because my number hasn't changed since I was 17. I've had it for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you that number at some point. You can call it.
Yeah.
It's not. Oh wow, my number hasn't changed since I was 17. It's crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, I've had it for a while. If you guys are curious, it's if you
911.
As per Tubbs, they know what's up. But yeah, so when that weird family, well, we're blood. Cool.
So?
Cool. What does that mean?
I've got a lot of cousins that I have never met. I've got a lot of cousins, and that I don't even like. Honestly, I don't care if I ever meet them.
Yeah, I've met quite a few of my cousins, but when I hear people talk about, oh, my cousin that's in New York, and act like they're their best friends, I'm like, how's that work? Because
I think Facebook's made that a lot more prominent.
and I also think too that families that stay close, like
Yeah.
within the same proximity of where they're living, I think that also has a big impact on the relationships with your cousins. But we always lived in other states. Like we would go visit, like, hey, this is your cousin. Okay, cool, sweet, your cousin, cool. But as far
Don't
as
try
like,
to pick up on them. High five.
yeah,
Noted.
my sisters, especially my sister, the middle sister, she's really good about talking to some of the cousins and stuff. But I'm like, I know you're there. I know your blood. That's about as far as I go.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't feel that need to. Oh my god, I gotta talk to my cousins. I don't know.
And I'm really happy when I see people that I haven't seen in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they're family. But the push of like, well, you don't call. You're right. You don't call either, though. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're even.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really busy. Oh, well, I'm not. I don't know. That always because I've heard people do it to other people, and I've been there when people do it. I'm like, why? Like, I listened to a podcast, Pete Holmes' podcast, and he was saying like, sometimes when you're famous, which I'm not famous at all, but sometimes when you're famous, people see you and they expect you to know when you met them. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I do meet a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but there are some people that are really nice about it, where they'll give you an out. As soon as they see you, they're like, hey, we met at blah, 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 blah. So when I see family, I'm like, oh, how's it going? You don't recognize me?
Nope.
Fucking no. I didn't know it was going to be a test, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I haven't seen you since you were younger. Well, I look the same. No, you're like fucking 4 feet taller, stupid. And that kind of mindset, I'm like, oh. And then, so in my head, I try to, oh, the last time I saw you, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, man, that was a long time ago. How you been? And when people immediately hit me with, so why don't you call? Been doing better shit.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out so far.
Yeah.
That's oddly intimate about family, but I don't hate any family, but whenever they try to put that on me, like, well, why don't you call? I'm doing shit too. Sorry?
I feel when somebody texts me like, oh, hey, I was just thinking about you today, blah, blah. You know, that's cool. But when they're like texting just to make small talk, I'm like, okay, what do you want?
Call me.
There's a thing I hate. Small talk.
Oh my god.
Small talk?
I hate it.
Yeah, that's the last podcast. Colt, keep it yourself. I'm just joking. Go on.
Oh, Dale.
No.
Dale had a little victory and you just totally...
1 minute of Dale hates.
No, it's okay.
And I'm letting you
Oh, he hates
go.
this now. That's a new hate.
Yeah. I hate it when I'm put on the spot.
No, you don't.
Oh,
You said that in a podcast. You don't want to put on the spot.
I know. Yeah, I hate small talk. I think it's an absolute waste of time. It's extremely insincere. Like, it seems completely pointless to me.
Maybe it seems pointless to you, but I can see where that comes from because sometimes I'm like, small talk to talk to this person to make this elevator ride uncomfortable. Nope, go on.
Oh, that doesn't even enter my mind. I'm pretty much the whole time I'm hoping they don't say anything to me.
Don't make eye contact.
Yeah, most of the time I'm hoping that nobody says anything. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I like people to get to the point.
Yeah.
I've had phone calls from people that want something, and I don't mean like in a negative way, like they want something from me, but I mean like when they're like when you call, hey, how's it going? Hey, how are you doing? Pretty good. What's going on? Nothing. Just how's everybody at the house? Everybody at the house is good. Then after 5 minutes, so I got a flat tire.
Yo.
Cool. I got AAA. You should try it. It's so good. But like when somebody calls me, I'm like, so what's going on? This and that and this and that. Oh, okay, cool. How you doing? I'm doing good. You call me for a reason? No? Okay, cool. And then I'll get in like relax mode. But nobody uses their phones anymore. So when somebody calls me, I'm like, what's going on? Just want to see how you guys are doing. I'm doing pretty good. And I'll because I do talk to people like that. People that call my wife's family call sometimes to talk. I don't mind that. But it genuinely annoys me when I'm like, oh, somebody talking to have a good time. 10 minutes into it. So, I need a miter saw.
Lowe's.
Cool. Lowe's has got one. We got like a Home Depot here. I think there's an Ace Hardware.
You could ask Santa for
You
one.
can check. There's so many options for this. I was wondering if I could borrow yours, and I was wondering if you can get to that point 10 minutes ago. So small talk doesn't bother me when it's in the context of, because I know like we live in an area that gets a lot of snowbirds.
Yeah.
If you're not from this area, snowbirds are senior citizens, not senior citizens, but older people from up north that come down to Arizona for the winter.
I call them snow turds.
No, we call them snowbirds.
I call them snow turds.
Rachel calls them snow turds. But I've noticed it's kind of a thing to keep conversation with some people. So if you're in a waiting room, like say like a Jiffy Lube or waiting room, they're like, so Arizona weather, and I'm like, oh, okay. They're trying to be polite, so I will retort politeness. There are some times where they get like oddly political for no fucking reason. They're like, yeah, Arizona and these laws about this. I'm like, well, nobody told you to drive here.
See, I don't think
So that's a you thing.
I don't think that's polite. Like I don't see it as that.
Maybe it's because you're like,
You're
well, you
going
put me
out
on the
here-
spot.
Maybe.
My dad likes to go to the gun
I didn't
shows.
come here to have social interaction, sir. I have to get my tire changed.
Exactly.
My dad likes to go to the gun shows around here, and he likes to just go up to like a group of people he can tell are like on the verge of forming their own militia, and just say a couple things about presidential policies or something like that, and then just
You walk away.
I just watch him get wound up and then just sidestep right.
Watch him march off into the distance.
Yeah, and he'll just slowly just exit his way away from the conversation and just
Go to a gun show.
It's like a
Well,
verbal,
Democrats got it right, don't they? And just like fucking,
it's a verbal arsonist.
that's exactly what he is.
he's hilarious about shit. Yeah.
They're trying to take our guns. I say they should. Foreheads explode.
That's what he said. Just
Duck
Yeah,
out.
seriously. He comes over, he's like, hey, I just told him this.
Does he really?
I started this.
he's a troll.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's that OG troll shit.
He's perfected it for a long time. But yeah, I love that
That's
guy.
awesome.
My dad's hilarious.
Small talk with a purpose is okay.
Dale's like, not the small talk I like.
He's the guy that likes to get to the
Well,
point.
there you go, Dale. Just turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah. Have a good time.
Yeah, why not? If words to live by. If it's gonna be a story, might as well be a funny one.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're already in a small talk situation, make it fun for yourself. So how about this weather? Yeah, some good baby sacrificing weather. They will stop talking to you almost immediately.
The government controlling that weather. And then walk away.
Drop some shit on them to make them shut up immediately. So how about this weather? Well, it's pretty much controlled. I mean, it's a flat Earth, and they have to control the time zone until we believe that it's actually orbiting. Can I get some literature? We're gonna wait by the car.
Yeah, it's hot. People are dying, but it's God's will.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
Well, so back to love.
Oh.
I will say that there are a very small group of individuals that I love unconditionally. And then there are people that I love, and then there are people I could give two shits about. But I know for me, I can say that there are things about the people that I love that and unconditionally love that I can, without a romantic intention behind it, that there are things about them that I can say, you know what, I'm in love with that part of them or whatever. It's just, I appreciate that part of them. But I also think too, like, when you look to somebody and you rely on them to make you feel good, like they're kind of like a little drug to you. And so when they stop being that to you, like they do something different, I think that's when you, like, your dreams get crushed in a way. And so I think that's where it comes from. Like, you're relying on somebody to make you feel good. So when your friend stops being that, then you're like, well, what a bitch. It's like, no, well,
There's a thin line.
yeah, your job is to make yourself happy. Like, you can't make somebody else happy. You can help not influence, you can help inspire them by you trying to be the best that you want to be or the worst that you want to be. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you can't make somebody else happy, even as much as you try, because I don't know, that's my feeling on it.
I agree with it.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've tried in past relationships, I've tried to make the other person happy, and for me it didn't go very well
Why?
on a personal level.
Why? No, not why it didn't go well. Why are you trying to make them happy?
Well, we had enough time. Why it didn't go? So what?
Why were you trying to make them happy?
Because I thought that's what you did for the people that you love.
To take it to another level, was it maybe you projecting that you were unhappy and thinking maybe if I make them happy, they will try to do the same for me?
It was.
That's not like an attack. It's like genuine. Like, do you think instead of, yes, you're supposed to make somebody else happy, but the reason maybe you went above and beyond is because maybe when I make them happy, they'll make me happy. was it a self-fulfilling, was it a, what am I trying, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Well, you're trying to benefit yourself doing it. Not in a like, I think you should benefit yourself. I think altruism, when people say altruism, selfless, no, it's selfish, because it feels good to do stuff for people. I think it feels good to help people. That's why I do it, because it feels good.
No, if I do something, it's because I felt inspired. Like, it came from a loving place within me to do something. If somebody says, like, hey, I really like this when you do that, fucking great. You should do it more often. No, not going to do it more often now. Because now you're looking to me to be that feel good. And when I don't do it, then you get pissed. Well, why don't you do this for me anymore? Because now you're expecting it. So it's not going to come from a sincere place.
Like, now I know you want it.
I'm really focused in on you again.
Sorry, stop looking at me.
So that's why I don't subscribe to that.
Do I remind you of any of your exes? Because when your hate and discontent comes out, you stare at me like
I know.
Like I just did something to you, and I'm like, I get it, but like, maybe don't.
I think it's because we're both on this side of the mic. And you're on
I
that
think
side.
so.
Yeah, because I want to make eye
it's not all
contact with
about
you,
you.
but probably I should face my chair this way. That way I can get a good view of both of you.
And I'll turn this.
Yeah, because I like to make eye contact when I talk. Well, I try to.
When you berate, talk. Maybe you didn't try hard enough. I wasn't there.
I'm married.
You're talking about somebody else. I know. Just saying. Could have tried harder.
So yeah, I don't. If like that's what I do now. Oh God, is he doing it?
No.
No.
Okay.
What?
Tubbs is playing with a piece of clay, and
Oh,
Making
I
a
thought you
whip
were.
fashion.
I thought you were gonna put it in your mouth.
All right. You were saying?
What I was
Blaming
saying.
me for your relationships?
didn't even know you then, but go on.
Well, maybe
No.
if you hadn't been such a bitch when we were together, I wasn't there.
No, like nowadays, my love, it comes from a more sincere place instead of what society thinks that you should do. Like, well, if you love somebody, you should be doing this and this. No, that's what society thinks. Like, I'm very, I don't know,
You really don't do what a lot of people, or society, a lot of people, I say a lot of people. I think sometimes we project on the society what we think we should be doing. Because I don't think anybody's ever actually told me this is what you need to do. Once you do this, you get a job. When you get a job, you get married. When you get married, you have kids. And when you have kids, you buy a house. Like, nobody's ever told me that. Maybe society in the sense of me watching TV, so like, yeah, you're going to get married and have kids. Or, yeah, families, whatever the case is. But I think some of that is some of the stuff we kind of put onto ourselves. Like, that's the conversation we were having a while ago about how some people look for a relationship and some people look for others. Do you know what I mean? Some people want to be in a relationship and want to do this and want this to be their thing. And I think not when you specifically, but when a person thinks that way, sometimes it's like, is this what happy is? Like, is this what I'm getting to? In the sense of, like, society says I'm supposed to be this way. And I think sometimes it's us putting that on us. Well, other people are happy doing this. Am I supposed to be happy doing this? I interjected, but that's all I was asking. Like, is it you thought this was the way to go? Or
Well,
was it this is how it's supposed to happen?
well, in my past relationships, I thought, when you love somebody, you do A, B, C, D. Because that's what you see. That's what you see portrayed.
Oh. Never mind.
Go
It
ahead.
rhymed.
What?
It rhymed, sorry.
That's what you see portrayed on TV, in books, movies, blah, blah, blah. This is what you do. So when I tried to do those things and be those things, I was like, I'm not happy. I don't like this. And so I've been really exploring what I feel is my version of love. What is positive, what is inspiring what comes from my true self in from a deeper level within me. And I think it's more sincere than what I've ever been in the past. Because, like, if I'm at a store and I'm like, oh, man, I feel inspired to get this. I think it would be cool, badass. And it's just like, it's also a way of me showing that, hey, I appreciate who you are. And also, this just seemed like a cool thing to get for you. And if I don't feel that way towards you, I'm not going to get you shit.
That went from very positive and beautiful about friends to very hateful very fast.
That's true. I'm not gonna get you. I'm not gonna be sympathetic towards you. I'm not going to be. I'll be like, sorry, cool, whatever. Have a
Sucks to
nice life.
suck.
Yep, basically. But I just don't look at me. Don't look towards me to
Fulfill anything for you.
Yes. That is your job. I do that for myself. And I won't be that person. Because I need to do that for myself.
You be happy and I'll be happy and we can be happy next to each other.
Yes. Exactly. But yeah, there have been a couple times where I'm like, you know what? Even though I may not be around this person or they may live in different states or whatever, like, I can honestly say, like, yes, I unconditionally love this person. And like, I have one friend, like, I rarely talk to, but there's just something that I just unconditionally love about her. And I have another friend the same way, just unconditionally love her.
We don't have time to talk about me on this podcast.
So, but
Did you say her at the end? God damn it.
So yeah, but also at the same time, like, you gotta, to understand love, you have to love yourself first. And if you don't love yourself, then then you're gonna be judging other people like you judge yourself.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said.
Well,
I don't know.
Sounds like a personal
that escalated
thing.
quickly.
Next topic. The next topic is... There is no next topic. All right. That was really deep, though. I don't want to kind of downplay what you said, but
No,
it is
yeah.
true. I mean, if you don't love yourself...
That was funny.
What was funny?
I don't know. Why were you laughing?
I'll show you later. The next topic is the idea that people... Not like that. The idea that people can see something on someone else did and say, I can do that. That's not what I wrote.
What?
I can do them.
It autocorrected. I can do that. And Rachel was bringing up that people look at stuff on Pinterest.
That's confidence. That painting is pretty good. I could get him. Got that artist in the bag. So, I'm gonna read this. Okay. So an example of that would be...
Rachel was talking about Pinterest and how people will look at something somebody else did and be like, I can do that, not realizing that it took weeks, months.
It was a conversation that was had at work.
Can you do this without laughing?
But don't. Okay, don't tell me to laugh, because then I'll laugh
I told you
more.
not to laugh.
Do you need some of the
Exactly.
calming cat shoes?
So it was a conversation that was had at work, and one of the comments was that when I go to galleries, well, this person, not me, when I go to galleries and I look at a painting and think, well, I could do that. Or when I look on Pinterest, I look at something, I'm like, well, I can do that. And I said, people don't understand the steps that person took or how long it took for that person to get to that point to have their painting in a gallery, or
Unless it's abstract.
that's true.
Taylor really hates abstract art.
And or when they look on Pinterest and they think, oh, I could do that, but then when they do it, they're like, well, it doesn't look like in the picture. Well, no shit, you didn't take all these steps to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Or they try to paint something, they're like, well, this looks like shit, I suck at it. Well, no, it took this person like lots of either art classes or like at least 5 years or something just to get to that point. Like you did one day out of, for example, out of that person's career of trying to get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was most of the day.
So I think a lot of people, when they try something new, they also, when they have that mentality, like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, but you kind of have to have a little bit of cockiness to say, I can do that.
What? Why'd you make that? Oh, because
the easel moved.
Well, I didn't want it to go whack and hit you on the head.
Oh.
I was like, huh? You're gonna die. Can I have your cup? I'm just joking. I wouldn't ask that. I would just take it. But there has to be a little
She's
bit of
like,
confidence.
I'm okay, and you're out the door.
I'll call the ambulance. But there has to be a little bit of kind of a cockiness to say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take this step. I'm gonna.
Yeah, and that's okay. But the where the separation comes from is when somebody's like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. Can you?
I guess because most of the time we use terms like, I can do something like that, or I'd like to try something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is that'd probably be the more honest approach to saying something like that about art, is acknowledging that it's an inspiration, that you'd like to try it. But I think, like the people that we're talking about, most of them will never even attempt it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because usually they're saying it to somebody.
Bored.
Trying to bullshit them into thinking that they can do something.
I can do that all day.
Yeah.
I mean, it just took some paint and some canvas. Oh.
Yeah. Well, for example, like, there's the people that, there's been lots of people I met in my life, when they see me draw, they're like, I used to draw. I used to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you don't used to be pretty good at something that takes a lot of practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just mostly
I could draw
BS.
Marvin the Martian like a beast.
I don't know.
That's what I think.
Because when she initially brought it up, we because again we do actually think of these before we start the podcast. Sometimes minutes, but whatever. But I was thinking that there is times that all of us, I think collectively, it's that I want to try something like that, or I want to do something like that. When you see something that somebody else posted because it is an inspiration, it's like, yeah, I didn't think about approaching something like that, like in that match fashion or.
And that's a natural evolution of art, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
That's how.
Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, with the exception of the amazing sculptures done like in Italy back in the day, like stuff like that, like, or they say over the past 70, 80 years maybe, like Ray Harryhausen, who did a lot of the monsters and stuff, and like Jason and the Argonauts and the Clash of the Titans and stuff like that, those really old movies, they were awesome at the time, but based on today's standards, they're very primitive special effects. But what he did inspired things
that made what we have the new special effects.
So. Yeah. There are things that I have looked at and be like, I could do that. But I've also learned that my way of doing that
Maybe I can't do that.
yeah, I've done that too. But I've also learned that I can, even if I say like I could do that, but it's going to be in my own way, my own version of that thing. Yeah. And it hasn't stopped me. If it didn't turn out the way I wanted it the first time, it doesn't stop me from trying to figure out a different way of doing it. So it's more the inspiration, but I don't know. Like I made that comment, like the world's full of football coaches. The world's full of professional quarterbacks and professional, football. Like everybody can. Like, what did you say?
I was talking about a post that said it was just worded, but it said the Olympics. Olympic gymnast does a triple Salchow something or other flip, blah 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 blah, and she does all these different things. Goes to lands, takes one step forward, And it says me on the couch eating Cheetos. Loser.
Yeah, so the world's full of that.
Yeah.
Lazy
that
boy
type.
coaches.
Yeah. And it's really easy to say, oh, you should have caught that football. But really? Are you there? You're not there. You're sitting on your couch. Yeah.
blind?
Yeah. You're sitting on your couch and they're out there playing. So
Yeah.
who should know what they're doing better than? So I don't know.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Right. Any other thoughts on the idea that people could see something someone else did and say that they can do that?
I don't know.
I think it's also kind of cool because I think a lot of people have gotten into stuff that they wouldn't have gotten in before because of social media and seeing stuff like that and say, I want to try this or I want to do this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there's probably a hell of a lot more artists now than there was maybe even 50 years ago.
Yeah. Which I think is good for the reasons that the special effects from. Well, if you think of the special effects, I don't know or have anything on, but I think it'd be an interesting thing to check out the special effects from like the 60s, and then compare those to the 80s, and then just the leap from the 80s to like the late 90s,
Yeah.
and then those to today.
Yeah.
I mean, those are huge leaps so fast. And I mean, the more artists you get, the more people are going to find different ways to do something. The more people are going to create and I mean make stuff that others can consume.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get some segments in. We haven't done segments. Listen to me. Stuff Rachel hates. You want to do another one of those?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was talking about love and
All right.
there we are.
Song. One song the listener should listen to after this podcast.
Oh, hold on. Let me get it.
Let me pull out my phone real quick. Hold on for a second while I whip this
I
out.
know one.
What? What?
It's one my sister just showed me last week or earlier this week. I don't know. It's been a long week, but it's a song called "Bloody Angel" from the band Avatar. That's a really good song. I like it. It's, I think they're one of my new favorite bands now. Really good. They're
Bless you.
rock
Hey, thank you.
metal band from Sweden.
Oh,
Really good.
I like it.
Mine is Tiny Dancer by Elton John.
That's an old song. I'm kidding.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a
Did it
good
say one song you should listen to that's new on the podcast? No, I didn't. I said one song you should listen to after the podcast. Yeah, weird. Listen, Dale.
So I found this new band. It's called Tosh Sultana, TASHSHSULTANA, and the song is Jungle. I really like that.
Cool. All right. Favorites. What music you listen to? Movies or shows you've watched or are watching? And or a tool or technique.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Favorites. Music we're listening to. Movies or shows we've watched or are watching. And our favorite. Tools.
Sound it out.
Techniques.
Usually.
I thought there was a scratch on the screen, so I just don't judge my reading, bro.
Do we have to list all of it?
No, just one of
Okay.
them. Pick one.
What was the...
My favorite right now is a 9/16 wrench. Because I lost Dale's and I had to buy him another one. I didn't have to buy him another one. He told me not to, but I felt douchey. Do you not like that segment?
No, I do.
I was unprepared. I forgot about that.
Okay, well then we'll do YouTube because everybody watches YouTube's.
Oh.
Read the YouTube one.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay, what video you've watched recently that stood out to you?
A YouTube video?
You look very.
YouTube.
Why do I always gotta go first?
You have this, look like. What are you gonna say, Rachel? Video you've watched recently that stood out. Oh God.
I've watched so many.
I've been watching that dude make stuff out of foam. Odin makes. That guy's pretty cool. I like watching his stuffs.
Let me look at my history.
Oh my gosh. Dale?
our podcast.
Well, there was
You guys haven't checked out the work in progress.
the Tron Legacy soundtrack
Oh yeah. You're welcome.
on YouTube. Boy, this has got to be so fun to listen to.
Exhilarating, really.
Oh gosh, there's a lot of things that I watched and that
You said
doesn't
name one of
help.
them.
That really doesn't help.
Are you wearing your Sasquatch shirt? You're not.
No, because I wore it the other day and I haven't finished doing my laundry because doing laundry for one person takes forever.
Yeah, when you don't do it. Trust me, I know.
Wash an outfit a day.
Rachel.
I know I can't. There's
pick
so
one.
many.
Stop at one and say that one.
Yes. Little clips from Finding Bigfoot.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go.
Well, there you go, guys. We had a caffeine high at the beginning of this show. Rachel ruined it by laughing too much. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Think
Dale,
so,
are we
too.
good?
I think so. I think we are good.
Sorry the energy went down. You can blame Rachel for laughing too much.
Ow.
If you heard that, that was Rachel's metal bottle hitting her tooth, and now I can taste metal in my mouth because that is.
That's one of the things Dale hates. Metal in mouth.
It's I don't know if it's a hate thing or what's it called?
Cringe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I can taste metal in my mouth because I
Oh,
heard.
you want me to do it again?
No.
I don't. Oh, here's a cringe thing for me. When somebody snags their like a fingernail on yarn, I can hear the sound and I can feel it. Even though I'm not doing it, it just makes me cringe. Anyways,
Is that it?
I guess that's it. Thanks for listening. Send us any comments and suggestions you have. Yell at us. Talk to us. I need your validation. I made her laugh again.
thanks.
You done laughing?
Yeah.
You sure?
All right, I'm just
I
saying.
know.
I'm gonna say it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
That is a nice dig. Stop recording.